Trail talk time. Out on another beautiful trail. Got the birds tweeting above me. River flowing beside me. I love being out in nature. These beautiful open spaces. Because they bring me back to that space that inner silence. It helps me to remember who I am. That's what I wanted to talk about today. How to know thyself. They say, know thyself, and you will know the entirety of the universe. You will know all the secrets of the universe. You know thyself. I spoke in my last video about coming into that experience of knowing yourself beyond just the body, beyond all these limitations that we often think that we are. But I think it's also important to get into the body and get into this incarnation fully commit to it. You know, to start living your purpose, the reason why you came here. And it's all a journey along the way. I've been thinking a lot about a lot of deep philosophical questions about life, and one of the deepest questions is whether it's all just predetermined or whether we have free will. And I think they sort of go hand in hand. You know, it's like we have these choices that we're making every day, choosing this way or that way in every moment. But perhaps we are meant to make those choices in the first place. Perhaps they are predetermined. But it feels like we're making these choices. And we do have this power, you know, to choose in each moment how we're going to use our energy. And we can start to empower ourselves more by starting to get to know ourselves, learning more about ourselves and studying ourselves like a scientist, right? Being mindful in each moment, seeing how things arise within us, and seeing the reasons for this. You know, seeing the cause and effect of things, so that we can start to shift and not play out the same patterns over and over again. One good technique that I've been using that's been helpful for me is before I go to sleep, to play out the events of the day in reverse. Whatever happened before I went to sleep, and then continue on in reverse until the time I woke up. and start to learn why things transpired the way they did, right? What led to the next thing happening, which led to the next thing. And you start to see there's a flow, a momentum, patterns that happen throughout your day that led you to your state at the end of the night. And this is a great way to start to study yourself and learn, well, what changes can I start to make, right? What could I have done a little bit differently here, or what can I do tomorrow a little bit differently to start to shift in a better way? And we can ask ourselves before we go to sleep, set the intention to gain insight as we sleep and ask, what can I learn from today that will be most empowering for me, that will help me in the best of ways? And your mind will start to go to work and bring you answers to this as you sleep and as you dream. We can do a lot. There's a lot of great power in setting an intention like that. Another helpful thing is to journal things in your life, as much as you can. And that way you have reference to go back and check and see, well, wow, that happened this day. And it felt this way. And it led to this. You can start to see the bigger picture of your life and learn a whole lot from it. See all the little things that felt good and made you happy, and start to bring about more of that in your life. And see the things that did the opposite and start to rid them from your life. Life is a marathon, as they say, right? It's not a 100-meter dash. So it's wise to think of the long term. Live for the long game, and be patient in your life. Patience actually means long suffering. To empower ourselves and to live our best life, it takes patience and it takes courage. And it takes self-discipline, right? So as we observe ourselves and learn more about ourselves, we can start to see different patterns that play out. And we have so many little addictions, right? Addictions that are draining our energy and wasting our time. Little things that we do every day that might not be serving us in the best way. A big example is just looking at the food that we eat, what we consume. Food is a huge addiction. It's like a drug, right? But if we can start to observe how we feel after we eat certain things, see the effects they have, and start to play with it and experiment and try new things, then we can start to adjust ourselves from the inside, right? Food is such a powerful thing. It plays such a huge role in our life and our mood and our energy. Food is information. And all the other things that we bring into our senses, what are we watching and listening to throughout the day and taking in? So many of us spend so much time just sitting watching something for so long, and ultimately a lot of it is just a waste of time, right? Entertainment is great in its doses, you know, it has its place in our life. We all like to be entertained, but we can observe that and start to ask, well, what could I be doing that's more helpful to me, more empowering to me than just sitting here taking in some of this entertainment? And to be more explorative, right? More curious about life and ourselves and how we can experience new things. You know, in high school in philosophy, I had this teacher, and he talked about Caillou. The show Caillou, it's a kids show about this little boy who's so curious about everything. He's always exploring, and that's what like the main title theme song of the show is about. He's singing about how every day is a new adventure, something new to experience and explore. And you know that my teacher talked about how Caillou is the ultimate philosopher. You know, a child, they're always just having brand new experiences in each moment. They have an open mind, open eyes to see the freshness in all of life. They stay curious and excited about life because they know there's always something new to learn, you know, something new to discover. And that's a beautiful mindset to have, to keep that open mind, to realize we haven't learned everything, we haven't done everything yet. So what else can we learn? What else can we explore that's going to be empowering, that's going to help fulfill us and enrich our lives? You know, these are helpful questions we can ask ourselves. Life is so vast, and we are so vast. We have, you know, infinite opportunity to grow and expand. So if we're feeling stuck in life, feeling bored, or feeling like we're not living our best life, then we can start to make small shifts each day, and it all starts from within. We can't expect life to just change. You know, we have to be the catalyst. We have to be the change that we seek, right? And even talking about food being a drug and seeing these addictions and everything, I think even for myself, I've gone through like problems with addiction and stuff, with just like smoking weed and everything, but I've been, you know, having a more healthy relationship with it as I learn to use it in moderation. And I realize that it's also been a huge help in my life, along with psychedelics. You know, they can help us to explore more and tap into other parts of ourselves and be more introspective and help us to see life in a new way. You know, there's studies about that, how we've been taking drugs or using substances for so long just to help to give us a brand new perspective of life. And you know, Terence McKenna, he talks about mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin being a catalyst for our evolution as a human species. He calls it the stoned ape theory. How these mushrooms started to enhance our senses and help us to actually survive and thrive more in this life. And that's what we need sometimes, is just a shift in perspective, right? But you definitely don't need to take any drug to do that, you know. Simply observing ourselves through meditation, you know, the moment to moment meditation, the mindfulness to just see how you react in certain situations, right? You start to learn so much just coming back to that observer. Start to see, wow, where did that come from? Why did that arise? Why? Keep asking why. Like a little kid, they always want to know, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Eager to discover the answers. We never stop learning. No matter how old we get, the wisest of old men and women, people, they continue to learn. You know, the wisest know the extent of their ignorance. And just observing the silence, you start to experience the fullness of life, the fullness of who you are, clarity. Meditation has helped me so much. To go beyond the chatter of the mind and to realize I'm something more than all that is coming and going. But I've come here in this particular incarnation to experience life in a specific way, and to have these experiences to help my growth in this life. And I think it's important to stop judging so much, right? That's what meditation is, to go beyond the judgment and to just let it all be. Let yourself be. You know, we judge so much. We judge our feelings and emotions that come up, positive or negative, when really they're all just equal in this beautiful flow of life. We wouldn't know one without the other, right? So it's all equally important. You know, positive and negative, it's all just part of one flow. You know, and talking about indulgence, overindulgence of things like food and stuff like that, and entertainment and whatever else, made me think about Mary Magdalene, right? Mary being like the virgin, Magdalene being like the whore. And these two are part of one being, two sides of one, you know, two extremes that we have to balance within us. The two forces of good and evil, or God and the devil. These are the forces that are within us that we must train ourselves to balance. And that's what takes the discipline. You know, it takes focus. And if we can start to observe ourselves more and learn from each day and each moment, then we can start to better balance these energies within us, which is what we need in life to stay healthy. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to share for today. I hope this was helpful. Hope everyone has a beautiful day, and start to observe yourself and learn more about yourself. It's beautiful to learn about all these amazing things in life, but I think the most important thing is to learn ourselves. So yeah, that's it for today. Have a beautiful day. Peace and limitless love.